Welcome to your Daily Revolution podcast. Today's topic: if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
My name is Setema, Gali, the founder and creator of the Prosperity Revolution, a global movement that helps you to get out of scarcity and into prosperity every single day. A movement where people have value, things do not, where money is a result of helping people, where you're rewarded for creating value for others, and where prosperity is not the result of luck, but a predictable steps and formulas, and where happiness is the ultimate goal.
What is up? Coming to you live from Destin, Florida. Boy, it's raining outside. I'm in the studio of my vehicle, so you might hear a little bit of rain hitting on the windshield and the top of the roof as I'm here, ready to walk into the gym. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's just dive right in. So, look, this is not a political podcast today. It might sound political. This is not a religious podcast. It might sound religious. The whole thing of this is simple. If you look at what's going on in the world today, right? If you just take a look around, you look at headlines, you look at social media, and you look at the news, which the news, by the way, is garbage. And if any of you watch the news and think that they tell the truth, you need to take your head out of your, you know what I'm talking about. Like, knock that off. The news doesn't care about you. They never have cared about you. They care about ratings, and they are controlled. That's for another conversation. But if you take a look around, it's just kind of this crazy world right now. People calling good evil and evil good. People calling light dark and dark light. There's an attack upon religious beliefs and religion. There's an attack upon the family unit. You have all of these smaller groups, which, by the way, I have zero care in the world if you are lesbian, gay, bi, trans. I don't care. I have family members that are gay. I have close friends that are lesbians. I have people who are atheists that I coach and train. I don't care if you believe in God. Look, you worship and live how you want. But here's the problem. The moment you try to shove that in my face and tell me this is how it's going to go, I now have a problem. Listen, even let's talk politically speaking, right? Again, I want to make it very clear. I have people that I love, and support them. I'm like, look, you want to be however you want to live? Great. I love you. And I do. I have close families, friends who are lesbians and gays. And so I just want to make sure you're clear on that. Same thing in the political arena. I voted one way. Look, most of you know by now, I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Biden. And whether it's Biden or Trump, look, you got to understand this. You better take a stand for something. Right? You better take a stand for something and get out of neutral's path or the middle or being lukewarm or sitting on a fence. Here's a problem. Most people, like myself, for example, for quite some time, I was like, well, I can't post anything about, I can't post anything about politics or the vaccine or getting the jab or who you voted for. I can't post anything about that because what? Well, because it might affect my business, or because what? People might not like it. Well, for a long time, I just kind of watched and I just sat and I was like, I have my opinions and beliefs, but I don't want to say anything. But this voice inside of me has been stirring. And it's been stirring like, look, Setema, you know what you stand for. And like, I'm not going to go push that on people, but I'm certainly not going to sit by idly and let the other side be loud. Because let me tell you, there is a side that is extremely loud. They don't shut up. They won't turn it off. They're freaking loud. And there's a quote that says, the worst thing a good man can do is to sit back and do nothing. In a world of social media, right, the world we live in right now, you see it's just people are loud. And that's the way it is. We're never going back. We'll never undo the internet. We'll never undo social media. Like, it's here to stay. Technology, it is here to stay, which means in your life today, are you like Setema of old, who would kind of sit neutral? Or do you have an opinion, and are you willing to put that on the line? Are you willing to take a stand? Well, Setema, the church that I belong to, we should just what? Sit back and let people steal our freedoms? This makes no sense to me right now. A lot of the things that are going on, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll take my stand. I'll plant my flag in the ground. For example, vaccinations. See, I view vaccinations like this. There's two types of people. There's one group of people who are like, leave me alone. Let me choose what is right for my body. There's the other group of people is, we are going to force you to do that. You got to take it. Nope, you have to take it. And we will segregate and we will separate and segregate against you if you fail to get the vaccine. It's crazy. We live in a world now where people want to force you. So naturally, I'm not going to say much about it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I've had it. And see, I'm not anti-vaccine. I am pro-choice, pro-freedom, pro-my body, my choice. Now, people say, well, Setema, are you for or against abortion? I'm both. You got to understand that. I'm not a woman. I don't have a baby in me. And at the same time, what do I know? There are some women who are put in some very difficult circumstances. So, I don't want people to have abortions. And at the same time, that might be the right thing. Vaccine. I'm not for or against it. I'm just leave me alone so I can decide what is right for me. See, the church that I'm a member of, maybe about a month ago, they came out and they said, we urge our members to take the vaccine. We urge our members to from a government that is safe. Well, here's what I know. In my church, right, we revere the leaders of our church as a prophet of God who speaks to God. And at the same time, I know just because the man says it does not mean that is from God. I have every right to go to God in direct prayer and to get direct revelation for me. Why do I sound so passionate about this? Because I know what I stand for. The old Setema would have just kind of fallen blindly in line. Oh, well, he said it. I guess I got to go do it. Well, the government really cares about it, so I guess I better do it. Have you ever stopped to just say, when the government has to force and coerce and bribe and incentivize, right? When they say, go get your freedom, why are they pushing this thing so hard? You got to ask the question. You got to sit back and say, what's really going on? The government, instead of ever stopping tobacco sales or alcohol sales, they're on the side of big pharma. This is called money. This is a revenue stream. Ancient scripture says, and their sole purpose was to get gain. Well, guess what we are in today? A place where these people really care about their pocketbooks. That's what it is. So if you're really thinking, if your brain is on, and if you're thinking, and if you're just thinking and asking questions, you might say, well, if you got the vaccine, great. Why would you force it to other people? And here's the argument. Well, I saw this article from a lady who said, my vaccinated mother died because someone was unvaccinated. Let me get this straight. You take a vaccine to be protected from COVID, and you take the vaccine so you can be protected against COVID, but you got sick from someone who was unvaccinated, and you want them to take the vaccine to protect you who's already got the vaccine so you don't get what? People are crazy. People don't know how to think anymore. We have been dumbed down by the media. Listen, to take over the United States, we don't need bombs and missiles. You know what you need? Just meet people in the media and people controlling the narrative, people being planted in social media and in cities to just incite riots and to get us thinking, just to change how we see things, just to change how we speak and think and what we believe. 200 and something years ago, we nearly froze to death and starved to death. For what? To beat an enemy with red coats. And today we are giving all that up because we're afraid to get sick. Because you can't even think for yourself, because you don't want to stand for something. No, what is this about? Standing for something. And I had people say, wow, you're getting pretty bold on your social media. I'm like, yeah, what do you want me to do? Keep posting personal development and self-help stuff? If you haven't noticed, there's a group of people that once said, leave me alone. And there's another group of people who are trying to brainwash, right? Brainwash and force things upon people. And if you don't speak up, and if you refuse to speak up, then whatever comes your way, it's what you get. And I'm telling you right now, I refuse to just sit back and just kind of chill out now. Like, you can't do that. You better take a stand for what you want. I love seeing parents in all these school boards and counties. I love seeing parents stand up and say, no, stop forcing masks on our children. There's another thing, right? Masks. So you go to a college game. I love it. No masks, wide open, body to body. But then you go to an elementary school and people are still making your kids wear masks. Today, you send your kid to school in a mask, you are a dumbass. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Following this big government that really you think cares about you? They don't. Again, what do you stand for? Freedom? Or falling in line like a little sheep who gets led down carefully down a path to be eaten by the wolves? There's more God-loving, freedom-loving, patriotic Americans than there are not. And yet it's the God-loving, like freedom-loving Americans who refuse to open your mouths. You refuse to speak up for fear of what? See, this is how the other side gets it. They're just loud. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to still have people wearing a mask, which is another thing. Go on a flight. I'm on a flight the last 2 weeks, one to Phoenix, one to San Diego. And these federal mask mandates. Are you kidding me? You see these elites at their Met Gala bullshit parties with no mask, enjoying it up. You see them before the cameras, no mask. Cameras, put the mask on. Cameras leave, no masks. This has always been and has been about control. And yet people were dumb enough to fool me once, okay, fool me twice, it's on me. So as soon as I get off a plane, because like I'm not there yet in my life to charter a flight. I'm just not. I'm not going to go spend 30 grand on a flight yet. Hopefully within 12 to 18 months, I'll be there where I'm like, yeah, I'll fly my own jet. But it's idiotic to think, wait a minute. So these guys can go and sit in their parties and in their expensive parties with no mask, but they want us to wear a mask in an airport for what? And force our kids to wear a mask for what? It's the same logic, right? These NBA players, what would they do? They'd get on the court and they'd play against each other, spitting, breathing. Now, you understand in basketball and football, you're spitting and breathing and you're like pretty much your whole body sweat is on another man or another woman. And then you get to the bench and you got to put a mask on. What is wrong with people? People can't even think anymore. That's how stupid the American people are. They don't even want to question things. They don't want to question things for fear of stirring the pot and being judged. Well, I'm telling you right now, you just saw it with the other day, Nicki Minaj. I'm really not a fan of her music, but I am a fan that she knows how to, she's a capitalist. She's a very good capitalist and entrepreneur. She knows what the people want. She gives it to them. She spoke out against the vaccines and they canceled her. The left attacked her, canceled her on Twitter, which ought to tell you something. As long as you are quiet, as long as you don't go against them, they got you. The moment you speak up against them, they will cancel you. They will attack you. This is about freedom versus tyranny. This is about freedom versus communism. This is not even about Republicans and Democrats. I don't care whatever Republican, Democrat bullshit you belong to. I don't care. Most politicians are dishonest. We know that. And sometimes it's hard to fathom that. How can we really make a change? How can we really change? The fact that we have an incoherent, mumbling, bumbling fool for a president right now. It's a joke. And guess what? Regardless of who's in that seat, I'm going to thrive. He can't control what I do. I control what I do. You control what you do. You control how much you produce. And the point of my podcast today is really simple. Open your mouth. Take a stand. Stop sitting in the background. Stop waiting around. Whether or not you want to be vaccinated, I don't give a damn. What I do care about is you forcing me to take something in my body when I'm like, it's not for me. Well, you're going to get us sick, but you already have the jab. Why would we get you sick? Well, now we got, did you know that there's going to be some 20 or 30 billion dollars for these big pharma companies? That's what they make. Isn't that crazy? Biggest, largest transfer of wealth took place in the last 18 months. And most people just are happy to just take $600 from the government, which is another conversation. You lazy. Obviously, no one who's lazy would listen to my podcast because I'm about 100% responsibility and 100% accountability and 100% commitment. So the lazy fools of the world will sit back and wait for the government to take care of them, which is how they enslave you, which is how they get you to be dependent upon them. I mean, do you see anyone trying to take a boat to Cuba? Do you see any people trying to sneak into China to live in China? Hell no. But they want to come to America. Why? Because it's the land of freedom. Because you can do a lot of things here. You can say a lot of things here that you can't say and do over there, which gets me wondering, what has these people so convinced that way is the way? Oh, because they want power. They want to mooch and loot. But the problem is, if there's no one to produce, you can't mooch or loot from anybody. So what do you stand for? What do you stand for, my friends? What is your flag in the ground for? Makes me sick to see videos on social media of people who, there's a 9/11 bunch of flags and some lady or some girl walking, throwing all the flags on the ground. She should be punched in the mouth. Yeah, I said it. Anyone who I get emotional. Last night we were at my son's football game. So my son's football game, and I got some popcorn and some food in my hand, and the national anthem starts, and I stop dead track, and I just look at the flag. And I just get emotional. I love the national anthem. I love what we stand for as a country. Yeah, our country's not perfect. There's a lot of dissension and contention and argument, but that's what makes our country great. That's what made it great, that we have freedoms to have powerful debates and take a stand and let checks and balances rule and let the voice of the people rule. And yet today, just have people who have no clue when they step on the American flag, pull them out of the ground, throw them down. What are you doing? We got to put you in some communistic country and see how you feel, where you can't do that before you get your head chopped off or fingers cut off. Yeah, there's a little bit of passion and fire in my voice. You better know what you're taking a stand for. And whatever you permit, you promote. So if you're permitting people to just kind of step all over your freedoms because you don't want to rock the boat, look, you learn how to have some tough, real conversations. Learn how to have real conversations and debate. I could see from where you're coming from, but I'm clear. I am clear about what I want. I am clear about what I stand for. And look, we don't have to fight. We could disagree. It's okay. You want to wear a mask? I love it. Good for you. I have zero judgment because I'm like, look, if there's a reason you're wearing a mask, then you should wear it. And the people who don't wear masks, we don't need to judge those who wear masks. And the people who wear masks don't need to judge those who don't wear masks. People who get vaccinated, they don't need to judge people who don't. People who don't get vaccinated, we don't need to judge everyone who got the vaccine. Like, everyone's got a choice. And what the world really needs is some critical thinking and some compassion. Greater compassion and empathy, and just like back to the time where it was 9/11 and then on 9/12 and for the weeks and months after that, we were a country united. I miss that America. Damn, I miss that America where people loved our country and the Star Spangled Banner meant something and the flag meant something and we were so united. 20 years later, we've forgotten. We forgot. Never forget. Man, Of course people forgot. Look at where our country's at today compared to 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we were so united against the common enemy. Now the enemy has blended very well inside of our country. Hard to tell who the enemy is now. You have politicians who really don't care about us. They really don't. You have government structures and people who it's about money. Does our taxes really go to where they're supposed to go? Probably not. Take a look at Biden and Biden's son. It's like, oh my goodness. And there's no recourse. There's just, and it's true, right? You watch these movies where money kind of gets you whatever you want. It's true. So what can we do? Well, the thing that you can't do is just be discouraged and sit back and say, well, I can't do anything. The truth is you can do something. The thing that you can do is you can take a stand and you can start to produce and not give up and not be discouraged. It's like a football game when the team starts to get down and they just think, well, I guess we're going to lose. And you got to fight to the end. Even last night we lost our game. I think we lost 40-0, 50-0. Like it was close in the first half. And we had a couple guys quarantined. We had our quarterback get hurt. But I loved it because even when we're losing that much, I love to see the fight in kids. As Americans, we need to fight. You need to fight and to have compassion and kindness towards your neighbor, right? I don't care if you're vaccinated or not. I don't care if you want to mask up or not. I don't care if you are lesbian or straight or atheist or Christian or Muslim. I don't care. You're a human being. We can exist on this planet having different forms of beliefs and religions and sexual orientations and preferences. We can exist. But leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone, and follow the laws. But the moment you want to push all this force, right, because that's where tyranny and communism start, force. We're going to force you to do this. Well, now we got a problem. So my flag's in the ground, United States of America. I love to be an American. I love the freedoms of our country. I love Florida, DeSantis. I love my governor. I love it. I was just in California. Freaking Newsom didn't get recalled. I think it's rigged. I do. I 100% believe that it's rigged. And if it's not rigged, California's going to sink. Beautiful state just being driven to the ground. Highest taxes. Oh my gosh, that's for another story. So listen, I appreciate you listening. This is kind of a rant. This is actually a rant today. And as you can tell, like I'm feeling it. It's in my mind. It's in my heart. So what will you take a stand for today, my friends? What will you take a stand for today? My friends, have an amazing day. I love you. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I'm out.
Let's go! This is your daily revolution. Live in prosperity, we show you how to do it. There's no luck about it, we got the strategic blueprint. This is your daily revolution. You already know. And if you don't, then check my resume. Turning pressure into possibilities every day. We all can win and live our unique purpose. We change our mindsets and put the work in. This is your daily revolution. Your daily revolution. Revolution. Your daily revolution podcast.